I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Grateful to be in your company. Always grateful to jam with you as we continue to be able to talk about what's happening around the country, around the world, and how it involves us as it relates to what we got to do to be able to prepare ourselves to make some things happen. This is The Foundation. Got to make some things happen. Always grateful to be in your company. This is March 31st. Essentially, the first quarter of the year is over. The first 90 days of the year is gone. Today's the 31st of March, and we're sliding into April as of tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. Tomorrow, April 1st. It's going to be an exciting time, man. I know you guys will be able to talk about a great deal of things. I'm really talking about what's happening from that particular perspective. And when election will be. I've gotten from good sources that the election will be called on by the second week of May. I think it's keeping in tune with what Perry Christie's made his pronouncements in between 2012 2015, when the PLP actually took on this kind of a position to say that we want to be able to always identify elections around May. Remember they talked about that? And so I think that this is keeping in accordance with that particular thing. There's a lot of things going on out here. Jamming in La Ciudad. Gasso just sick. There's a lot of things going on. I got a haircut today, and my barber's just over me, rowing about world events, rowing about what gonna happen and who can do it, and rowing about world events. I mean, rowing. And I trying to get a haircut. This guy is too much. Hope you guys are being able to keep yourself prepared, keep your mind, your spirit together as we continue to be able to talk about these things. Guys, let's look into some stuff. There's a lot of things going on, but I wanted to kind of bring some things to your attention. I laughed I saw something and I laughed. ZNS put a post out and I laughed. I laughed. I don't think it was like an outburst, like a, from my belly type thing, but I laughed. I chuckled, at least, when I saw that. And being able to see that is a very peculiar thing. Gotta say happy birthday to Nico Moscow. Happy birthday to you, Nico Moscow. Celebrating a birthday today. Just popped up on my timeline. Hope you guys are good with those particular things. Let's check it out and see where we are. La 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 la. I saw it and I popped it on my on my page. I think I did. Yeah, breaking news. Let's check it out. All right, let's see if we can cut this thing down for a little. Breaking news. Grand Bahama. This is from ZNS Northern Service 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. So essentially, it would have been 10 a.m. this morning. Grand Bahama Port Authority removes campaign signs. Overnight campaign signs posted throughout the multiple constituencies in Freeport have reportedly been removed overnight. Sources tell the ZNS News that all political parties were given guidelines outlining when and where campaign signs could be placed. And it is alleged that those protocols were not followed. As a result, it is further alleged that the officials from the Grand Bahama Port Authority removed campaign signage across Freeport overnight. ZNS News has reached out to Port Authority officials for comment. A formal press statement is expected shortly. This is a developing story, and that's funny. That's funny. This is in the Northern Service. Let's see if they can do it.
There was a package that we believe was just dirty clothes that had been left.
Okay, hold on. Wait. This is actually information from ZNS. So let's open this up and see exactly what we got going on. This is too much. First thing this morning. What happened to your Grand Bahama people? Let me tell you something about idle hands. We got to find productivity for y'all. We got to find productivity for you. This is information that we're receiving right now from ZNS in Grand Bahama.
That didn't look like it was something that you would normally. There was a package that we believe was just dirty clothes that had been left in suspicious packaging that didn't look like it was something that you would normally see. And so we were able to do an investigation and determine that there was no threat. And so there was no email, there was no other communication. It just, as part of our routine checks, we know to identify suspicious packages and then initiate the response that we all have been trained on. There was a package that we believe was dirty.
Buckeye Bahamas bomb scare deemed false alarm and gives the all clear. This is in Grand Bahama. And then the update on alleged bomb scared Buckeye prompts evacuation. All clear is pending. Breaking alleged bomb scare reported in Buckeye. This is what's happening. That's the breaking news. Grand Bahama Port Authority removes campaign signs overnight. And that's sort of the information that's coming out of Grand Bahama now. They're indicating that we can be able to wait and be able to see for a press release. So we're looking for that kind of a press release to make a determination as to exactly where we stand and where those things are happening, right? So we're looking at that, and we're going to make a determination as to the steps that we take. So I'm just going to look out for that, and I'll let you know the same time that the information is released to me or to the public. I'll be able to talk to you about it and let you know exactly where we stand and where we are in these instances. All right. But Grand Bahama Port Authority is hilarious. I can tell you. Let me tell you something. This fight for autonomy, this fight for sovereignty, this fight for space, this fight for acquisition and position is bananas. It is dividing the people. I can say that. I think as people find themselves in a non-productive position, looking for opportunities, looking for jobs, looking for this, looking for that, once you're having this kind of a conversation about whose signs go where and who is the boss here and so forth and so on, for the very first time, we would have been able to see the Grand Bahama Port Authority over the course of, I don't know, several elections, take on this kind of a position and, strut their stuff, essentially. That's what they're doing. They strut their stuff. They say, hey, listen, we are the authority in this particular space, and we make this determination, and this is what we intend to do. They're not operating outside of their jurisdiction. This is their responsibilities. This is their jurisdiction. Now, what we've been discussing and having conversations about, I think in former elections, there was a grace given. I think in former elections, in former spaces, there was a grace given. There's sort of an idea of being able to ensure that you're taken care of, and we know it's election season and so forth and so on. There was a grace given, but I think that tolerance has found its completion, has come to the end of the road. That kind of a tolerance for these particular things, I think, on both ends, from the government standpoint and from the Grand Bahama Port Authority standpoint, I think that tolerance has come to an end. There's sort of an idea of being able to expect and look for things to be done in this manner. That's not going to happen anymore. And so I think that that's where we are right now. And that's what they're discussing in those particular areas, right? We continue to be able to jam with you. Free National Movement will give single mothers $200 monthly. This is what Heather Hunt says. Now, we read this information the other day. This is what something that was actually popped up on the campaign launch. And so this is what they're saying. The Free National Movement is proposing to provide $200 per month to new single mothers. Okay, so this is the first time the word new has been used. Okay? This is the first time the word new has been used. You hear me? This is the first time that the word new has been used. They didn't say new before. And even that needs some stretching far and wide. Because you could be 35, 37, just meet a man, have a child, ain't married, single mother. Talk to me. You could be married for 25 years, had a baby in the past 7 years. Talk to me. The man leave you, single mother. I just want to be very clear with you. There is so many ways that this could happen. You understand? This could need some stretching out. But anyway, this is the first time that they've used the word new. New single mothers. A plan, the party says, would cost between $12 million and $14 million annually. I stopped short. Mother sick. You see that? That calculation doubled what I indicated. If we're getting the national average between 3,500 and 4,030 of students, of children being born annually, if we identify that, and they say that 75% of those particular, this just going by the statistics that are actually 75% of the people that are born, which would, let's say the average, we got to be decent. All we got to do is be decent. We don't have to be indecent. All we got to do is be decent and just talk with math, okay? We don't have to be able to do this thing, right? If we take 4,030, right, and we plus 3,500, right, which is 7,530, and we divide that by the 2, we get 3,765. 3,765. On an average, this is how much children is born in this country. Average, 3,765. Okay? So, 9. Okay, so out of the 3,765, 2,823, let's go 24, 2,824 children are born to single mothers. 2,824 children are born to single mothers a year. I don't know how they calculate their stuff. We can talk about it, right? If we look at that and we multiply that by the 52 weeks by 200. Oh, no. Let's fix this. 2,824 children are born, single parents, okay? We're going to give each of them $200. So you multiply that by 200, which is 5,640. 5,000. I don't know why I'm saying these numbers like this today. 564,800. 564,800. 564,800. That's how much you're going to get per month. 564,800. Right? 564,800. We multiply that by 12 months because I didn't know whether or not you say you can do it weekly, bi-weekly, or whatnot. Let's read the story and see exactly what's what. We got six. I still get the 6.777. That's how much I get. 6,777,600. That's how much I got. Okay? So let's read it and see exactly what's what. So it says that they're proposing to provide $200 per month. Per month. Per month. Now, if we did it per month and we did these calculations, then that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay? $12 million annually and be funded by the cutting government spending. Mother's sick. They're cutting government spending already. They ain't reached yet. They're cutting government spending already. Mother's sick. That's just a peculiar thing to me. I don't understand that. I just got to be decent as I say these things. It's just a peculiar thing to me. I just don't understand it. Cutting government spending is a wild thing. Nurses are indicating that they don't get paid on time. Uniform officers are indicating that the public servants, they indicate that they don't get paid on time. They continue to be able to get monies pushed back. They're owed money significantly. Bahamas Broadcasting Corporation indicated that they wasn't getting paid on time. The teachers indicated that they weren't getting paid on time. Almost every sector in this country that has any affiliation with the government has indicated that they have not gotten paid on time. I don't know why the Free National Movement believes that this is a form of savings, right? This kind of this cutting back. This is savings. I don't know why. The country is yearning and needing of productivity, progression, growth, access, opportunity. The cost of living is continuing to be able to rise. We have issues with energy costs and so forth and so on. These things are happening around the world. Around the world, the Free National Movement, before they get in, they said that they are trying to be able to appeal and appease to a softer side and indicate that forget this kind of a corporate concept that the FNM continues to push. What we're going to be able to do is tap into something that's familiar to you. We want to be able to help single mothers, and we want to give them $200 a month per single mother. New single mothers. New single mothers. Elizabeth Estates candidate Heather Hunt said that the initiative would target Bahamian mothers in single income households, particularly those who are unmarried or in lower income brackets. The Tribune contacted Ms. Hunt to expand on the proposal, which she described as a child support initiative aimed at helping women in the first 2 years after giving birth. It's targeted at a specific groups of mothers who find themselves after having children. It's difficult to get back to work and back to the normal earning capacity because childcare Childcare are expensive. Childcare are expensive is wild. I think we meant is. Childcare are expensive. And she indicated, adding that the support would apply to the unmarried mothers. Oh, this is sick. This is discriminatory. I can't even, there's no two ways about this. I can't even say anything other than that. You can't discriminate against the people. The people who seek to be able to travel the line of formality in this country should not be penalized by those particular persons who casually, happily, irresponsibly find themselves in this kind of, and it's irresponsible, it's casual, and it's gleeful. It doesn't, listen, that's just what it is. We could make as much fun as we want to about shotgun weddings and people who get married with the baby. And I was at my mother's wedding. I almost was the flower boy or the ring bearer. I hadn't reached yet. Let's be very clear about it. I wasn't there yet, but they did the right thing. They did the right thing. The woman get pregnant after your sexual escapades. Freshness. The woman get pregnant. Oh my God, what you can do? What you can do? What you can do? That's discriminatory. People who try to be able to do things formally based upon these things should not be penalized because they're single mothers who don't care and who have a relentless dependency that the government or some other subsidiary will be able to take care of them and they can be able to. It is foolishness. It is absolute foolishness. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. I'm not saying don't give these people the $200. I'm simply saying to you with clarity that you're not going to discriminate against the people who wish to do this thing formally. That's it. That's it. You're not going to encourage, and this is subconsciously an encouragement. That's what this is. We've already seen this work out in the United States of America. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something.
I did she one time or another. Now she says she's gonna be a mother. Her father come to.
Is that even the start of a song? I did she one time or another. Nah, she says she can be a mother. Listen, let's be very clear about some things, okay? If you're old enough to do this to Nelly, you're old enough to marry her. And society needs to be able to get back to righteousness and to formality. This casual approach that we're taking is wild.
I did she one time or another.
Come on now, talk to me.
Now she says she's gonna be a mother. Her father come to straighten the thing. That's when the wedding bells start to ring.
Come on.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. He said, if you're
Old enough to do this to me, Nelly. You're old enough to marry she. My son, don't try to run, 'cause I ain't gonna mess with this shotgun. Somebody gotta get shoot. It's just simple.
I say, man, you know things are tough. Furthermore, I ain't old enough. And he stuffed me by the collar. And like a madman, he start to holler.
hold him, Joe, hold him, Joe, hold him, Joe, don't let him go, hold him, Joe. Y'all need to stop it. The examples that we continue to be able to have in our society about righteousness, the examples in our society that we hold dear and we hold steadfast to about righteousness, the examples that we continue to be able to cling to are wrapped in our music. This is our music. This is running. This is our music. This is a depiction of a very clear understanding that you ain't gonna make the child a bastard and the woman ain't gonna be a whore. This society has not changed with the incorporation of different influences that came from the South, whether that's Haiti or Jamaica or Venezuela or Cuba, or whether they come from the North and the Northwest, whether that is America and Canada, wherever this is. Wherever these influences come from, there was a standard that existed in this country prior to this. And I knew I didn't, listen, I don't know how you all grow up, but your mother having different children from different, and then your mother have a child, and the child have children from different, and then the child have children. Listen, I don't know how you all grow up. That has not been the rule in our society. It's the exception. These things exist in our society. But over the course of time, it has become the rule. I want to say this, man. Over the course of time, it's become the rule. I want to talk to you all like this, and I think we should have this kind of a conversation because the Free National Movement is tipping toe into wild, into marsh, swampland. This is crazy. To have a conversation that we're going to be able to be the organization. And the difficulty is that the Free National Movement deals with corporations. This is a corporate government, the corporate administration, the corporate entity. They've never identified these particular things, no matter what Hubert Ingram tried to be able to tell you. Okay, just do some history, just do some research. Understand the environment and then look why the decision was made. The Fresh Start and the Jumpstart program was an essential program that was designed and strategically placed in the position to ensure that they can be able to empower people based upon what the government needed at the time. The government needed to borrow. The government was unable to borrow because the entities from an external standpoint state that, okay, if we lend you money, you're not doing enough to be able to bolster small economy, entrepreneurialism, and development within your own society. You need to create environments to ensure that you can give these children, these people rather, some money and give them opportunity to be able to grow. In fact, we'll help you out. Here's $23 million. They take the $23 million and bust it off and just throw it to everybody. Like they was in Magic City. They make it rain on everybody. They didn't change it. Listen, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They did everything. They gave a superficial concept and the government ran everything, including the 52-week program through them. They did everything from a textbook standpoint, from a superficial standpoint, from a theoretical standpoint, and practical application thereof without heart and soul. Their intentions was only to be able to see the external lenders could know that this is where the money has gone. This is how it's flowed through the society. This is what the people have used it on. And we encourage them. If they need support, this is what the government has provided for them as it relates to support. The Free National Movement has never, ever, their organization has never been an organization. Listen, if you're going to sit down here and talk about, well, the Free National Movement has built houses, and the Free National Movement has built schools, and the Free National Movement has done all these particular things as it relates to infrastructural development under the former leader, which was Hubert Alexander Ingram, then we're going to have a different type of conversation. We can have to have a conversation about egotistical leadership that seeks to always be one up on another person. We're going to have to have a conversation about this sort of an imperialistic concept that exists, and Hubert Ingram seeking to always be championed and identified at the pinnacle of this particular race, and steadily fighting for a position above Lyndon Pinlin's zone. Yeah, because in this country it goes Lyndon Pinlin, Hubert Ingram. That's how it goes. And I'm not talking about the succession of which he was successful in terms of being able to acquire that position. I'm talking about how we identify socially who is doing well and who isn't. Who's best, was the best prime minister we've had in terms of the service to the people. And Hubert Alexander Ingram will do anything that he has to ensure that he keeps that particular position, teetering on the edge, on the toes, on the heels of Lyndon Pinlin in this social recognition. This can't be Mount Rushmore, but it could be Mount Alvernia. This kind of a picture of Mount Alvernia that has inscribed, etched into the stone, Lyndon Pinlin. You got to be able to see Hubert Ingram right there. Let's be clear about this, okay? The Free National Movement is not an organization that's concerned about who get pregnant, who ain't had shoes, who had something to eat. That's not their concern. That's not their concern. Their concern is money. This is a corporate organization that wants to be able to create and bolster opportunities and seek to be able to ensure that the books are in the black and not in the red. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But this is a falsehood of the image of the organization. It may be the intent and the heart of the leader at this particular point, but it goes contrary to what foundation and traditions that have been set to state that this is what the Free National Movement stands for. Sort of an idea is a peculiar idea for me. It's a peculiar idea. I can't fight him. I can't fight him. I can't fight him. Okay? I understand. And sometimes this could read as desperate. But I understand. But I don't know how realistic this is. I really don't know how realistic this is. And I don't know whether or not I'll give $200 a month to these women. Not in a bad way. The new single mothers. I don't care if they're 37 or 18. That don't make a difference to me. Or 17. That don't make a difference to me. None of that make a difference to me. The government, similar to what the Prime Minister is doing right now, is to ensure that the children get the food in their mouth and their bellies. This $200 could go on a great deal of things. Now, we're not going to put every single mother in the category of irresponsibility. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But if the evidence of pregnancy that exists upon them and the position that they have where there isn't support and they are here by themselves, it could tell a truth about a futuristic concept that we could expect from them going forward if they're not trained, taught, educated, and empowered to understand how you use this money, what you're using this money for. This $200 could go right on Eclipse Bell. I just want to be decent with you. Eyelashes, I just want to be decent with you as I say this. I don't mean everybody. I mean that there are some irresponsible ones out there. But what this administration is doing in terms of putting the hot food in the children's mouth and it getting right to their belly is sort of the instant gratification of to be able to appease and ensure that these children are taken care of. This $200 can help, but more than likely it won't. But the prerequisite for this particular thing was irresponsibility. There could be no expectation that with an increased salary that you won't be irresponsible. There could be no expectation. The complexity associated with this, if you're trying to be able to help people, is much. I just trying to be decent as I say this and kind of have this conversation with you and talk about these things. Let's be clear about this, man. Y'all just fight me. How are you gonna? No. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. You ain't gonna give it $200 to a single mother who just had the baby before 6 weeks up. She ain't never tie up herself. She ain't never kind of, you know what I'm saying? Before 6 weeks up, she ready in the club again with a mole open and catching draft. Not in a bad way. Let's be clear. We ain't putting every single mother in this category. But the government is indicating that they won't give every single mother $200. That'll be a lash farm. Lashes for days. And then she goes on to be able to talk about this, fixes this $200 thing. As for the single mothers who would have been given birth and is not married, so doesn't have the support of a husband to take care or help her to take care of the expenses. And it's also for low-income mothers. As Hunt said, that the party estimates that the program would cost about $12 to $14 million a year and could be financed by the reducing of that she describes as wasteful government spending. What is sick? Wasteful government spending. What are those? You know, this is what happens when you don't have vision and creativity. What happens when you don't have vision and creativity is this concept that you need to be able to be frugal. You need to cut from every end. You need to take the talent that you were given, the one talent that you were given, and hide it under a rock. You don't invest it, you don't expand it, you don't seek opportunities, you don't do anything with it. You take the talent, you become frugal, you cut it, and you hide. That's what the Free National Movement has been historically. Over the past, more specifically, over the past 2 election cycles, when we found the Free National Movement in the position of leadership in this country, their frugality, their ability to be able to cut at a dime's notice, has always indicated to us that their creativity is not where it should be. That creativity doesn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me. This boy bothering with me again. I just want to be very clear with that. No, Gabriel. Let's be clear about this. I want to be very clear about these particular things. We have to look at this and be transparent and let's talk about this. Being frugal doesn't necessarily mean that these things are happening. You're not thinking about ideas. This is lazy. This is lazy leadership. It lacks vision. It lacks insight. It lacks strategy. It lacks the approach. It's just a casual sort of an idea that you're throwing out to people, and you expect these particular things to happen. When the PLP presents this, and I hate to be the champion of being able, or to be an advocate, not necessarily the champion, but to be an advocate about what is blatantly obvious. What is blatantly obvious is that the PLP, over the course of the past 4 election cycles, with Brave or without Brave, has always been, in terms of him being in the capacity of leader of the organization, there has always been an arm dedicated to urban renewal, development, access, opportunity. There has always been a division within the PLP that says we will assist those that are heavy laden, downtrodden, burdened. It has always been that. The PLP does this. This is what they do. When they come into the forefront and saying that we're going to reduce VAT, when they come into the forefront and say we're going to reduce VAT even more, when they come into the forefront, it's the closest that the Free National Movement would have gotten to this is the Over the Hill project with Dr. Minnis. And even that had a structure of corporation associated with it. Come on, let's talk. Let's talk even the Over the Hill project that afforded you an opportunity. If you was living in the Over the Hill, if you were building in the Over the Hill, you could bring in these things free. You could develop your thing. Where did people get the damn money from? Nobody knew. But the Free National Movement created an opportunity for you to do something. I know one thing, it placed me in a position of being able to look for something in the free in the Over the Hill area. Yeah, that's what I did. I opened up my business in Over the Hill. That's all you can do. All you can do is cause people like me, who just read the newspaper, who's listen to what's happening in Parliament, who understand exactly what's what, to try to figure out how I could get in Over the Hill. Because you hadn't made any stipulations. I put my business in the Over the Hill. I open up this and that. I bring in my truck. I do this. I do that. I didn't beg for this. I went along the lines of what you created. And the people who live in an Over the Hill, a handful of them possibly was able to prosper. I watch Chinese stores go up and over the hill. I watch all sorts of things happening. Formality, big businesses find themselves in the position of being able to put warehouses and whatnot in the over the hill. That's what happened because the F&M opened the thing so wide that corporations was able to get in. That's what the F&M does. The F&M is a corporate organization that's concerned about the bottom line, money. The PLP historically has always tried to be able to figure a way to be able to get food in your mouth and a couple dollars in your pocket. I mean, they are lambasted and people cuss them right out. And y'all keep giving your proper contract to this and that. And y'all keep giving your contract to your friend. PLP coming right now. The people, the Hardy Boys, the Rowdy Boys in Long Island get $20 million on the ground. With clarity. Let's just talk about this. With clarity. With clarity. With transparency. This is a local company, local people running the thing. They created this corporation. The PLP government set up a thing with them, gave them $20 million, pave the roads. We expect these particular things, and I expect them to be able to have their sort of safeguards in place to ensure that every step is identified and is done properly. But the government of the Bahamas, which is the PLP at this particular time, has given regular Conky Joes, Negroes, an opportunity in their own constituency to make some money. What did the Free National Movement do? Road project, and everything went through a particular company. A company that was directly affiliated and attached to people who are established in the Free National Movement. Let's be clear about this. Millions and millions of dollars. New company pop up out of nowhere. Millions of dollars flow through the company. Millions of dollars. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars flow through the company. The PLP come in. How can we empower the people that live in these communities and give them an opportunity to be able to make some money for themselves? If we give this one some money, he got to hire some people from right where he live. Let's do that. It's a good idea if we give money to these people, these Conky Joes in Long Island, because this boy must he fall down. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me take a quick commercial break. Let me tell you something. When school closed, it's a bittersweet thing, Let me tell you, let's be very clear about this. You happy because you ain't got to go wake up, you know what I mean, like to run the care that you're in school. But these children now, they with you all day. And so your routine and what you just carry out, you got to modify that today, baby. You got to modify that today. This boy crying. His scooter he playing with out in the parking lot slide down the hill, and I told him not to go down there. Anyway, so let's just get to a very clear understanding of what these particular things are. Let's be very clear. And I think it's necessary that we talk like this. I don't know who's going to win the next general election. Who cares? That ain't my business. That ain't my business. that ain't my business. Okay? But I just got to be able to look at it for what it is. I'm looking at the Free National Movement, and I could sense desperation that exists in the underbelly of the organization right now. It's a two-level desperation. They need to get in. They're willing to do whatever it takes to be able to get in and find themselves in that kind of a position. This is desperation. This is desperation. That's what this is. When we identify it, it's difficult to have this kind of a conversation and talk about it because nobody wants to talk like this. But this is going against the grain of what the organization has stood for decades. This is what we've identified in the organization. The frugality that exists in the organization, the strength of being able to identify things and being able to look at it not from a humanistic perspective, just from a financial perspective, just from a profitability perspective, not from a social perspective. The FNM has never done that. They've never evaluated, not to my knowledge, these particular concepts and ideas to the concept and idea of a socio-economic growth and development. Never. Economic, yes, but not socio. If you find yourself benefiting, it's just a trickle effect. It's not a direct indication of focus, a commitment to ensure that you benefit. You are tertiary at best. You are not primary, not secondary, tertiary at best. At best, as it relates to their thought pattern in terms of opportunity, access, and so forth and so on, for you. I mean, you don't necessarily have to agree with me. You could cuss me out and tell me how you're talking a bunch of garbage and give me the examples of when the Free National Movement would have been able to do things out of the goodness of the organization, out of the organization, out of their heart, out of the heart of the leader. And this particular thing is, what you're saying is a bunch of garbage. Come on, man, let's do it. 827 827-0111. Yeah, I'm hearing it's more. I'm hearing more and more on May 12th. I think Brave has given them too much of a runaway. I would dissolve the House next week and call election the very first Tuesday in May or at the end of April. Pintard said that single mothers, and Heather is saying new single mothers. Yes, Howard, Pintard did not say new. He just said single mothers. They are already backtracking. No, we call for verification. It was too wide. Say single mothers. You mean single mothers? It was too wide. You just can't leave things open like that. You have to close it up. Single mothers with blood type O negative. Like that. You got to be able to close it up. Single mothers with hair that's naturally red. Like that. You got to be able to figure out specificity. You just can't open up something wide. You got to be able to close it up. You got to put brackets around this particular thing. And so my only point to you is that the Free National Movement is swimming in unfamiliar territory. This territory of being able to tap into social ills and identify how we can be able to modify these particular things is not necessarily an organization that we know. Now, the Free National Movement's perspective and concept is always being able to create infrastructure. They always showed you how to fish. That's what the organization was about. The PLP used to catch fish for you and give it to you. That's what the PLP is. Come on. The PLP catch fish for you and give you the fish. Okay? They catch the fish for you. They chop the fish up sometimes, depending on the desperation of the organization. They may even chew up this fish and spit it in your mouth. The PLP historically catch the fish and give it to you. That's what they do. That's what the organization does. You can't wipe every tear from every eye without touching the people's face. You, as an organization, has always been focused on being able to take care of the individual. I accept that. Okay? I accept that. The culture of expectation that's in this country, that you go to your MP and your MP gets you straight, was birthed and organized and introduced by the Progressive Liberal Party. That's the PLP has done that. I didn't say it's a bad thing. I said you've created the dependency that people have had in this country. The independence, that kind of a self-worth and value that exists in this country for people to understand that they're going for something for themselves, it has been eroded over the years because since 1973, let's be very clear, since the introduction of independence in this country, and there's sort of an idea that we're going to be able to do all of these things introduced by the PLP, there has been a relentless dependency on the government. And single mothers have increased as a result because women they just need to know they're getting support from somewhere. Come on, man. Are we talking? Women only need to know they're getting support from somewhere. They know they can't do this by themselves. I know you know they can't do this by themselves. Every man knows this woman can't do this by themselves. Every woman know to push a whole child out and have that child around here, take care of the child and take care of me. The woman can't do it by herself. I don't care what she thinks she is. I am daddy and mother. Stop that foolishness. Stop it. The woman cannot do it by herself. Women need community to raise children. This concept and idea of the village was not spoken of by men. It is by women. Let's be decent and talk about this. Y'all don't want to talk like this. Y'all want to talk some other talk. I'm not going to fight you. Jacob and Esau. Now, I have equated this particular story in my mind to the observation of twins that are born in this life. Over the years, I've identified with twins, not every twin, the majority of twins that I've identified, there could be exceptions, but the rule is the majority of twins that I've identified over the course of my 40-some years, there has always been a stronger twin and a little feeble one. And the feeble one normally smarter. Hello, I can't even get no amen. Okay? Because you ain't going to get the strength and the brains. So one get the strength, and he or she is not a dummy, but they're simple. They don't think in complexity. They don't think in they just very rudimentary, just basic, okay? There's one that goes a little deeper in their thought. I've always equated that. Even reading the story of Jacob and Esau, I have looked at this. And I realized that Esau's strength, he got hair like a bear all over him and so forth and so on. He was a gangster. He was a man of valor, man of war. He go there, he catch the deer with his hand and bite his head off. This man was a man's man, Esau. Jacob was feeble. He had to stay home with the women and being able to take care of them. The story telling you read the story, this is what the story is saying to me. I don't know what it's saying to you. This is what the story is saying to me. And even with clarity and understanding, there was a village of women that stayed home. That's what I get with that Jacob and Esau story. There was a village of women that stayed home. Jacob stayed with them. Jacob knew how to cook. This man, he know how to cook. This boy didn't go. Esau didn't run to his mother and say, Mommy, cook me something. Jacob knew how to cook. And the division and the divisiveness didn't come from Jacob, who just was happy to cook. He was happy to be recognized and happy for an opportunity. Happy that his brother looked like this cooking. Happy that his brother's desperation to be able to have this cooking ran straight to him. Cook me something, man. His mother whispered in his ear, telling him, blah, 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 blah. That had nothing to do with nothing. He just wanted something to eat, and his brother just wanted to feed him. The division came from his mother. The mother, who was part of the community, the contingency of women, had stayed behind when the men went off. Let's be very clear. Women need support. Women need support. Men could try their hardest to be an island, and then when that don't work, then they fall into depression and drinking rum or smoking dope or hitting coke or trying to be able to find their pleasure in one sexual partner after another because they're not finding their true potential. Men fall into issues. Women fall into community. And communities bring gossip and so forth and so on. But that ain't what we're talking about today. We're talking about the fact that women need community. Every woman knows that she needs to be able to get support to have this. Okay? The PLP knows that the women need support. The FNM knows that women need support. Let's just be very clear about these particular things. If we identify these things and we have this kind of a clear conversation, $200 a month, nobody care where it come from. Once it come, baby, it's an ASU for somebody. This ASU money, $50 a week for ASU. We could be able to get something. I want the third hand. That's what they can do with the third hand. I can do this, and this. Yeah, this is for the women who are part of a community. They can use this $200 to get to an objective for themselves. They will. They can still be working, still do this. Women have a community that they lean on to get these particular things done. And it is programs such as this, programs such as social services in the United States of America with what is called the housing, low cost housing, or whatever the project houses in the United States of America, but they give you, and food stamps and so forth and so on. This is as a result of that. The governments have created a very divisive and devilish program that's been able to identify and amplify and provide support to women alone. They've never created these particular concepts and ideas to be able to support families. Well, women, listen to me. There are women who would have children for this $200. Oh, Howard, excuse me. There are women who would have children for this little $200. The government is subconsciously planting seeds to say that you could expect us to always be there for you. And at the the slightest speed bump of a tribulation in the relationship, they tell the mama, carry up. I don't need you. I don't need you. Why? Because she knows that she has support elsewhere. And if she don't have to tolerate foolishness from anyone. Because she is going to get support without question from the government. She's going to get support without question from a small village and a grouping. She's going to get support without question. This is no encouragement for families. You're not encouraging families. One thing I could say, you're not encouraging abortion, but this is not an encouragement for families. You forget the education level in this country, the desperation that exists in this particular place. You may look at it like, oh, Howard, it's only $200. But there are people that look at this like, oh, this is $200. I just tell you, ASU, I just tell you $200 worth of spinning by Sabbats. I just tell you that. This is what they're going to do with this. When will this touch the children's stomach? Or their feet when they need shoes? Or a haircut? When? Governments need to be, and this is not the FNM's forte. So they don't even have this kind of a long-term concept and idea of how to be able to apply this thing. All they're doing is saying, all right, listen, let's give $200 to single mothers, eh? It's bananas. I commend you for the idea of being able to become a softer organization and being able to at least sand down the jagged edges of the frugality that exists in your organization. Yeah, I got to say that to you. I got to commend you for being able to show us the softer side of the Free National Movement, which is a wonderful thing, but these things still need to be fleshed out. And there needs to be a sense of consistency being able to come out of these particular things. And take a lesson from the PLP. You don't give nobody money, you get them food. You don't get nobody money, get them food. You don't give nobody no money, you give them food. You get them money, the money will never go on food. They spend the money and come right back to you hungry again. You give them food. I can tell you one thing. If you give them too much food, they can find somebody else to give the food to. The food ain't a waste. The money is going to get boiced up. Every eyelashes, red, yellow, black, and white eyelashes, 78 inches long, scratching their forehead. They got a bang and the eyelashes swoop. My God. Almost like a wave coming across the eyebrow. Look like a crescent. It's too much. That's where your money will go. Your money will go where their heart is. And if their heart is on the sort of an idea of being able to present themselves as, hip and modern and this and that and so forth and so on, then they can spend their money in that area also. I just try to be balanced when I talking like this to you. And I try to give you historic aspects and avenues to be able to make. I never want to be emotional when I talk to you about these things. I never want to. I always try to be able to do so with calm. And I give you the contrast of what we've seen from the PLP, what we've seen from the Free National Movement. And then I ask you whether or not you believe that the Free National Movement can carry these particular things out. Because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Free National Movement was supposed to be feeding us on the Menace. Menace gave the contract to the Halawaskos. The Halawaskos, who are unfamiliar with the burden and the plight of the black man that lives in these particular areas, continue to be able to take this kind of a concept of what people should eat, give the people eggplant and squash and whatever else. The people send me all kind of pictures to be able to show me, Howard, look at this. Beep, beep, beep. These people give me. I was on the line for 3 hours. All I get is this, and this. How I even is cook this? How I supposed to cook this? Keep in mind, we are a cultural people. We are people who come from the yard. We are people who grow yam and potato and squash and this and that and all these things in the yard. But that's 3-generation displays. And the reintroduction of it so sharply by the Free National Movement placed a lot of sort of a, disdain on people's, it left them with a significant impression. That's the Free National Movement I know. Their heart is good, but they never work out the details when it comes to people. But when it comes to money and finances, right down to the damn last penny, they know where it's going, how it's going, what it's expected to, how to be able to identify this, where we're going to strategically put it, where we have to cut it from to be able to get to this. That's just what the Free National Movement is. That's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. This is who they are. There's nothing bad about that. The Free National Movement has done well for this country during their particular time and tenure. But when it comes to being able to help people, which you need now, I can't get an amen, Jesus. Which you need now, when it comes time to help people, the Free National Movement may not necessarily be the organization to tell you step by step how to do these things. They could use a PLP consultant to tell them how to be able to fix this. $200 for mothers. Give them, that's not $200. You give them $200? You crazy? You got to be crazy. It's the same thing that you did with the Fresh Start program and the Jump Start program. You just gave people money. No accountability. You got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. First thing I want to know, listen, I giving you a card. This Howard, I giving you a card. All right? Single mother's card. SMC card, whatever. Don't make a difference. You got a single mother's card. You call Visa, you call American, you call Visa, you call MasterCard, or you call Sun Card. Somebody can get this particular thing. Every month you charge up this card, but this card could only be used in pharmacies, in the supermarket, it's very clearly. Very clearly. Got your $200. You go get some food. You could even use that in AID if you need to get your car tuned up. So you think about these things and you think long term, how can we get the most from and be most effective with what we have strategically, given the fact that we know these people, how they can spend their money historically? How can we be effective and really be able to assist them with their children? So Sandy is going to be able to get it. Melissa Sayers can be able to get it. Foot Locker can be able to get it. Foot Locker in here. Foot Locker here. Athlete's Feet can be able to get it. Sports Authority can be able to get it. This is where the little children go. This is where little children go. Your barber can be able to get it. Figure out a way that the barber could get it. Let's be clear about this, man. And make these things easily and accessible. Make it an app that the barber could be able to put something on his phone. You get a device. You could be able to take the Sun Card, beep, beep, boom, and you pay for your haircut. You can pick up your monies. It'll go directly to your account. There's no complexity involved. But $200 in my hand is a weapon. We murdering children with that. $200 in my hand is crazy. I'd rather you feed my children in the morning. Because I got pregnant being irresponsible. You think $200 can help me be responsible? Some mothers can take it and put it in a soup. Some mothers can take it and put it in sabasan and flowers. An Asu drawer. And that was an Asu I talked about the first time. That's just what's going to happen. They're seeing denigration. They're seeing talking bad about people. They're seeing negativity. They're seeing an expansion about these things. They're seeing trying to be able to break down and demoralize the Free National Movement plan. The Free National Movement don't have a plan. They have an idea. And they hope that you agree with it. And they hope that you're tantalized by this particular concept that they're introducing to society, that you would vote for them. But you need to think. Has the Free National Movement historically ever been able to help people directly like this? No. Has the Free National Movement ever placed themselves in the position that you knew that this government was the government to be able to assist people? No. After Hubert Ingraham went and Hubert Minnis stepped in, the Free National Movement still displayed significant frugality. That's what they did. That's what they did. Only time we saw significant promotions was more specifically in the National Security Division when Marvin Dames wanted to be able to make sure that some people get promoted. We didn't see no mass promotions and opportunities that exist for everyone else. Some people took their opportunities and some people did not. It's the Free National Movement. Fight me if you want. I'm telling you what I observe. Scott calls for foreign observers in the election observers. Free National Movement senior advisor Michael Scott, KC, who indicated that Minnis could electrify a mosquito. I just wanted to be able to put that there. Calling for international observers to monitor this year's general election, citing that he said are mounting concerns about the integrity of the voter registry. This is peculiar. A permanent registry placed in a position by the Free National Movement is now being scrutinized by the Free National Movement. This is hilarious. After they put this thing in place without strategy, without course, without concept, without ideas, without a caveat, without rules, regulations to govern it, without an understanding of how this can be able to go, now they're calling for international observers because they believe that the mechanism that they put in place for the general elections will be used against them. It's peculiar. I'm not going to fight you. Let's be able to read it. About the integrity, Michael Scott, a council member of the senior attorney who said that, and a senior attorney who plans to work the polls, made the appeal as he pointed to what he described as a growing list of irregularities in the electoral process. Among them, he said, are the reports of deceased people remaining on the register. Let's put it there. From 2017. Let's do that. Among them are deceased people. Okay, let's go. I just can count it. Deceased people remaining on the register and voters who have relocated. So, voters who are relocated and still assigned to their former constituencies. He said that he was told this week that 425 people who left Garden Hills were still listed there, whilst 234 deceased people remained on the registry in Michael. Michael Scott, you're doing too much, okay? You're doing too much. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. You need to relax, okay? First and foremost, when they go through the process, they're supposed to be able to take care of this. When you recognize that you move from Golden Gates to Golden Isles, right? When you move from Garden Hills to St. Anne's, wherever you move. When you move from Garden Hills to St. James, and you were still listed in Garden Hills, is because you wasn't thinking about the registry. You wasn't thinking simultaneously. You wasn't thinking, okay, couch, fridge, you get your clothes, you get everything. Okay, now whilst we're taking these things to our new location, let's stop by the Parliamentary Registration Department and transfer over. Nobody does that. In fact, you got to be there for 6 months before you can be able to move. It took me 1.5 years, 2 years before I can be able to register my thing. And the only reason I did that is because of the by-election that happened in Golden Isles. Let's be clear. My name was on the registration, on the parliamentary registration for Golden Isles in the last election. I didn't vote, but it was on there because I hadn't transferred my stuff as yet. It's just simple. Now I want to participate. Now I want to be able to do it. I went there and I transferred my stuff. You're doing too much. And I don't know why y'all giving these people so much airspace and time to be able to have these kind of a casual conversation about nothingness. This don't even make no sense what he's saying. He's the latest FNM figure to raise concerns about the register following the simple complaints last year that Golden Isles by-election. What I'm suggesting is that this is a flawed register. Now, I don't disagree that you can be able to do this better. I don't disagree that Harrison Thompson did not provide us with a transparent aspect of these particular things. If in the last election you couldn't find 2,500 people, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's a problem. Okay? I don't anticipate and expect those particular things to carry through, especially with the FNM and the PLP looking for these things. Hubert Ingram, in his particular capacity, is a former member of Parliament, a former leader of the Free National Movement, and who was responsible for a great deal of the legislation surrounding these particular things, has said to you on the stage in Golden Isles that you cannot steal a general election. What's going on here? What's the disconnect in your organization? If you can't steal a general election, what's going on here? You got checks and balances. You got to ensure that people are staying in one position or another. You got to ensure that things are getting. What are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. I just don't understand what you. Personally, I don't understand what you are doing. That's just Howard. What are you doing? What is the expectation? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to fight you, but yeah, Harrison Thompson. I think that we're going to need a new commissioner. Now, I know that this organizations like to be able to stay with tradition, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as it relates to these particular matters when it comes to the parliamentary registration, so the voting and so forth and so on. You like to be able to ensure that someone knows these things and understand historically what's going on and how to be able to navigate themselves through these things. However, you're going to have to be able to figure out some stuff. You're going to have to be able to do better than this. There's sort of an idea associated with just being able to go traditional without a vision and prospect and incorporation, a slither of an opportunity for futuristic concepts to be incorporated in this is a dangerous thing. I got a call from someone last night that says, Howard, we were, and Harrison has indicated that in yesterday's newspaper that people were out there until 1 o'clock in the morning. That they were there until 1 o'clock in the morning. A process that they indicated could be swift. When I got my things done, it took me almost 35 minutes. When they indicated it would be 10 to 15 minutes, it took me almost 35 minutes. They were very thorough. And then when they see me getting antsy, they quickly move and did some stuff. But it took me 35 minutes. We asked them how long it can take. We were the very first people in, my wife and I, were the very first people in there. Times we turn around and they had about 6 different couples. So it's about 8 to 12 people in there who were coming to get it. So they take your picture, they do this, they process the picture, they gotta put the seal on your picture, they gotta tape it down, they gotta glue it, they gotta this, they gotta that. Something gotta be done faster than this, for Jesus' sake. God, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. This is too much. Every single one of you work in a silo. Every one of you work in a vacuum. Every one of you traditionalists that sit at the top of these particular organizations that sit in government work in a vacuum. Your department works solely in the passport office. Your department works separate and apart from every department. I got to go to the passport office to ensure that I get everything done. In NIB, your department works separate and apart from everything else. I got to go to NIB to make sure I get everything done. Your department in parliamentary registration department works separate and apart from everything else. I got to go down there. In fisheries, your department works separate and apart. Why the hell did y'all pay this man almost $1 million a year to rent the town center mall? Why did you pay him almost $1 million a year to rent the town center mall and all kind of box in there to rent, and y'all ain't renting the box? And y'all ain't sending nothing to the box. When you're ready for your thing, Mr. Grant, it'll be available for you. In 3 weeks, you get a notification on your telephone when it's actually sent out. You could be able to track it and go and pick it up from your box right at Town Center Mall. This will cost you an additional $2.50. Normally, if you go down to the Town Center Mall, it'll cost you $5 for registry or whatever, $30 or whatever the case may be. But because you're doing this and you're utilizing this, you charge you $5 and you can make it a recurring bill, and you pay this $5 a quarter every 3 months to the Town Center Mall to ensure that your box is taken care of. You can get a smaller box for you as an individual, or you can get a big box for you and your family. There's opportunities for you to be able to bring things from the United States of America, blah, 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 blah. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. You suck. All you do is work in a silo, in a vacuum. with the biometric cards and all these particular things. Now we got to go to total online whenever y'all get that, so I could be able to get that. This is too much. Y'all are making me tired. There's just 400,000 people in this city. I hate to even drive. Everybody in Nassau know the rhythm. Nobody's will go on the road between 8 a.m. and 10 o'clock in the morning, or 9:30, 9:45 in the morning, because traffic is absolutely stupid. Nobody will go on the road when it's time for children pickup. Nobody will go on the road for 5 o'clock. This is an exhausting experience. You got to find all kind of things to try to make sure that yourself is comfortable when you hit the road in Nassau. You all are not thinking in any way to alleviate any of these issues, and you're sitting in government and you're making money and you got your red plate and you're doing everything, and you are lackadaisical in your approach of productivity and progression in these particular spaces. But you got your job. You got your job. You got your job. And in some instances, people are now, they got a job and they're getting a pension and they still are non-productive. It's got to stop in Jesus' name. Lousy people, man. And I can't fight them because they are older people, some of them. And so they only know what they know. They're content with what they know. They know that they've been identified to be able to support the government of the day, whatever the government may be, because of what they know. There's an expectation that they continue on with what they know. The hell I got to be standing up on this line for with this paper card what anybody could be able to manipulate. And then when you see Haitians get it, you can't. Oh my God, they give the Haitians the voters card. They made them. They made them with the same crepe paper from Book World. They made these. They made it. What the hell is this? They made this. Oh, well, they can't make the seal. What you mean they can't make the seal? What you mean they can't make the... What y'all is be talking about? They made this. You all think people stupid, eh? You all think people who live in this day and age just dumb? Oh, well, you know, Americans could do that, but Bahamians can't. No, Bahamians wouldn't dare. A thief is a thief. A liar is a thief, is a murderer. All is the same thing. You're sitting down here and got a whole post office. I got to go stand in the hot sun in the line all Jesus Day. All day. I got to stand in the line all day. Y'all got to stop it. Anyway, let's go. See that? Look at that. Haitian man denies getting Bahamian documents through fraud. Of course he would deny that. Gas prices surge. At least one retailer would increase prices by $1, officials say. Cost of diesel to increase on Wednesday. Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retail Association, Vasco Bastian, told the Nassau Guardian that prices of gas will increase today at one of his major retailers by $1.02. Shortly after, he said that residents can expect the prices of gas at other two retailers to increase as well. He said that the price of diesel at the pumps will increase tomorrow. I want to go on record as saying that it was inevitable. It is a direct result of the war in the Middle East. You can blame everything on the war in the Middle East now. Everything in the war in the Middle East now. Everything. You can't get a crack on fries without being able to hear about Iran and Iraq. Hey, give me one chicken in the bag. Give me one snack. Grandmama's plates chicken in the bag. Give me one chicken snack. You know that can be an extra $2. For what? It's a war. It's a war in the Middle East. You don't know? So what you need my $2 for? We helping them. Somebody got to top them. No, we ain't helping them, baby. That is increased because of gas getting up. Oh, gas going up. Gas going up. So chicken is more expensive. It has come from Iran. This is too much, baby. You doing too much. Just tell him it's $2 extra. Any more questions? Tell him ask for the manager. This is too much. This is too much. This is just too much, okay? New National Reference Lab to be open in May. Officials are still trying to tackle the ambulance issues on the Family Islands. Payments still owed to NHI doctors. This is what Davos says. Man accused of $75,000 bank fraud. An increase. All satellite stations have been strengthened with at least one additional team. This is the voter registry, I suppose. Parliamentary Registration Department working on increased capacity at registration sites. This is what the commissioners said. And being able to do that, because I got a call last night. And let me see if I can see this. What is this? Monday's meeting drew 17 participants representing key sectors of the Bahamian economy, including hospitality and tourism, cruise operation, telecommunication, higher education, and American business operating throughout the company. U.S. Embassy hosts a meeting of Bahamas Nassau chapter of the Overseas Secretary Advisory Council. Okay, this is nice. Americans, they working hard, boy. They working hard to give you the perception and understanding that we are working in your favor. Director of Information and Terminology. Okay, let's see that. Simonet says that the issue is being unfairly politicized. And what's this about? Chief Passport Office Nicholas Simonet, he appeared as a special guest on one of the hosts on one of the show on Guardian yesterday. And you can be able to see him talk about these particular things. Kalina's COO Marcus Boslin participates in the MAB's opening panel and addresses AI. Let's be able to talk about these particular things. And Ministry of Works signs a contract for new glass window bridge. I just asked him about this. $400,000 contract covers preliminary work for the $70 million project. Okay. ORG laments the progress on transparency and governance-related legislation. Exuma Chamber President lauds government's allocation of Crown land for affordable homes. And the Borden Corporation selected to develop Central Bank's first payment system. And that has been the show today. I want to thank you guys so very kindly for being able to tune in with us today and really being able to talk about these things. And I'm just hoping that we as a nation tap into not just the prospect and idea of being able to cast a vision, but being able to have the elements associated with growth and development for the country. Let's just be very clear about this. There's sort of an idea, this casual approach of just being able to merely, to cast a vision and tantalize your emotions and see people shift their thinking towards an organization does very little as it relates to being able to understand the elements of how these particular things are going to work. At least, can I say this to you? At least when I spoke to the PLP about prospects and concepts that they've indicated that they would do in the event that they find themselves in a victorious position, they could be able to say to me, this is how we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3. And when I push back, they could say, this is how we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3. These concepts and ideas for 5,000 homes in 5 years, $200 for mothers, single mothers. All these things are great and fanciful ideas and whatnot, but are they realistic? Can we touch them? Is this something that's actually accessible to us? Is this something that we can actually do? Is this something that's real, or this is just something that's made up for an opportunity to be able to get the minds and hearts shifted on the Free National Movement? I don't think the Bahamian people want to be played with anymore. It's just one of the things that they don't want anymore. And I agree with them. I don't want it anymore. I want to be able to hear clarity. I want to hear a path for growth and development. And I want to hear how you're going to be able to incorporate this for me. So says, yeah, Scott, go sit down. You ain't making no sense. They made the registry permanent. The Free National Movement, that is. It's like they ain't paying attention to Ingram. He doesn't tell them that ain't possible. Yeah, this is their own organization. But they bring it to the forefront. They bring it to the forefront. And so we just got to deal with it accordingly. Let's see what else we got there. I want to thank you guys so much for being able to tune in today. Tomorrow is going to be the last show until Tuesday. So I told you I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and give recognition to Holy Week and give you an opportunity to kind of sit back, eat a piece of bread and fish and give God praise, do some introspection, do some reflection, say a prayer, give God praise for his life that he's given for us. And just be able to take the time out with yourself, with your families, go to church, whatever else y'all do. I don't know what else y'all do. Easter Monday, must you go to the beach? I don't know what y'all do. Whatever you do, you got to do so with safety and with this sort of a reflection and recognition in our hearts for how God has come in and saved us and gave us an opportunity to be able to reunite with him. That the hope of being able to be in a place of growth and development and a progression and happy and joy and peace can exist in our hearts, and we won't be separated from his love. That's important. I want to thank you guys so very kindly for tuning in with us today, man. This is The Foundation. I'm Howard Grant. I'll see you guys tomorrow, God's Prayer Our Lives, right here on The Foundation. Have a great day.
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahama land to the foundation.